Good evening and welcome to the Ghana Tv9 News Bulletin for Monday, September 29, 2025. I'm Colin Neighbors. In the headlines tonight, Ghana's oil wealth driving jobs, growth and transparency, says Minister Barrett. Police officers arrested in CJIA extortion probe. GTU withdraws contempt proceedings against government officials. Younger Guyanese at risk. Minister of Health sounds alarm on heart disease. Orthopedic technician charged under Cybercrime Act for leaking video of Lola doll. After shooting, and ex-police remanded on forgery and fraud charges. Now, for the news in depth. The Minister of Home Affairs has reaffirmed the government's commitment to strengthening the national emergency response by equipping the Ghana Fire Service with modern tools and well-trained personnel. Over the weekend, the Minister of Home Affairs visited several fire service units across the city, where she observed the Ghana Fire Service capabilities firsthand. Details in this report. Ghana's firefighting capabilities have been significantly enhanced with the addition of the state-of-the-art fireboat named Protector 8. Over the weekend, Minister of Home Affairs Onij Walwand witnessed one of the country's first fireboats in action, showcasing its advanced features and operational readiness. On board, she witnessed a live firefighting demonstration that highlighted the high level of precision, coordination, and exercise required to operate such specialized equipment.
To equip the fire service. Similarly, there's Protector 8, which is a water-going vessel that helps to once again fight against the fires on the waterways. It's already been used and deployed in the GNIC war fire and similar fires along this line. And another boat is on its way, and we have invested in this capability, and we are the only Caribbean country to now have two of these vessels that will help in the deployment of our rescue and firefighting capabilities along the coast. So once again, this is to help bolster the capabilities of our fire service.
The new equipment, the minister explained, is fully controlled electronically, which will reduce the incidences of human error. The government's investment aims not only to upgrade technical capacity, but also to upgrade a resilient fire service capable of meeting the increasing demands of public safety, affirming its role as a cornerstone of national development.
We've already seen successes with the use of this vessel. And once again, I would like to say thank you. These men and women who man these machines are highly skilled, trained and managed with professionalism. The fire chief is here, is well versed in how the machines operate and what the capabilities are. We'll continue as a government to see how we can fill the gaps in addressing the needs of firefighting and rescue across the country, so that we have one less fire that is devastating, and we're able to respond in a quick and efficient manner to all our rescue and firefighting efforts.
In 2025 alone, the Ghana Fire Service responded to 4,319 medical emergencies. The Ghana Fire Service has received a $9 billion investment this year aimed at building new stations, upgrading existing facilities, and acquiring modern fire trucks. In response to past tragic incidents, the Ghana Fire Service has intensified its fire prevention efforts. This includes increased monitoring, training, and proactive operations in schools, dormitories, and other vulnerable areas to reduce the risk of fires. Colin Abrams, Ghana Tv9 News. Natural Resources Minister Vikram Barrett says Ghana is on the road to its golden age as oil revenues grow. Local content expands, and the Natural Resources Fund ensures transparency. More in this Faith Sunday report.
On the new oil and gas edition of the Starting Point podcast, Minister Barrett said Guyana is already on the road to its golden age, crediting strong leadership and strategic policies for the country's rapid growth. He highlighted how the sector is creating opportunities for businesses and citizens, while laying the foundation for long-term development and prosperity as the nation continues to benefit from its growing oil revenues.
It calls for quality leadership, bold leadership, And if you look at countries where there are strong leaders, leaders that are not afraid to take decisions in the interest of their country and people, you find that those are the countries that stand out, as Guyana is right now in the world, because we are rated as the fastest growing economy in the world.
Barrett explained that once ExxonMobil's cost recovery period ends, Guyana will see a greater share of oil revenues flowing into the economy, boosting spending on national development. He highlighted the local content law passed in 2021, which ensures Guyanese businesses and young professionals can access jobs, contracts, and training opportunities in expanding oil and gas sector. He noted that the Local Content Act is no longer just a law on paper, it's reshaping Guyana's oil and gas sector, putting 14,000 citizens directly to work and creating ripple effects across the country.
We have managed the economy so well. We have created opportunities for all Guyanese, whether they're enjoying a better job with a decent salary, whether they are young entrepreneurs, whether they're small business owners and they're growing into medium scale businesses, whether they're part of the private sector, that all Guyanese are now in a better position.
The minister emphasized that all oil revenues are managed through the National Resource Fund, a mechanism created to promote transparency and accountability. He noted that the fund is subject to oversight, audits, and parliamentary scrutiny to ensure proper use of the country's oil wealth.
That there is only two ways in which money can flow out of the Natural Resources Fund. And just for our viewers, I just want to say that this Natural Resource Fund, or the revenue in this fund, it is not in a bank sitting somewhere in Guyana, because there's a misconception that, we have access to this money. It doesn't work like that. It is in a reserve bank in the US, and the only way money can flow out of that account is if you have approval from the National Assembly. You must have approval in Parliament. And one is when it flows into the national budget, which is debated for an entire week, which is cross-examined and questions asked of the ministers for an entire week in Parliament. Then you have the Auditor General, the check on expenses. Then you have the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament, that check on these expenses too. So there are so many layers of safeguards again to ensure that there's transparency and accountability.
Barrett reassured the public that the benefits of the oil industry will continue to grow, calling the sector a game changer for Guyana's future. Oil production began in 2019 with ExxonMobil, Hess, and CNOOC in the Stabroek Block, and since then, Guyana has become one of the world's fastest growing economies. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Former policeman Omari James, 26, of Farm Housing Scheme East Bank Dewarara, was on Monday remanded after being charged with forgery and demanding money through fraudulent means. Police said James went to GBTI's Diamond Branch on September 25 with forged IDs and withdrew a withdrawal slip in the name of Shimer Adi for $35 million, but discrepancies were detected by staff. He pleaded not guilty to 4 charges, including 3 counts of uttering forged documents, before Magistrate Wanda Fortune, and was remanded until October 31, 2025. The Ghana Police Force has launched an investigation into alleged corruption at the Chedi Jagan International Airport, following claims that officers demanded money from a passenger to release her lawful belongings. In response, the force has mandated the use of body cameras at all ports of entry. Here's more. Police said on Sunday that CCTV footage and other evidence confirmed the allegations, accusing several officers at the Chedi Jagan International Airport of demanding money from a passenger in exchange for the release of her lawful belongings. The allegations have prompted swift action. The implicated ranks have since been placed under close arrest as the Office of Professional Responsibility, OPR, pursues a full probe. The case has triggered an immediate policy shift from the government in what is being described as a decisive anti-corruption measure. Authorities have ordered that effective Monday, September 29, 2025, all law enforcement officers stationed at airports and border entry points nationwide will be required to wear body cameras. Officials said the move is intended to boost transparency, enhance accountability, and restore public trust in the conduct of officers assigned to sensitive frontline duties. The police force has made clear that it maintains zero tolerance for corruption, warning that any officer found guilty of extortion or bribery will face the full force of the law. The Ghana Police Force is reminding travelers that no payment is required to clear lawful items at the Chaijigan International Airport or any other port of entry. Passengers facing such demands are urged to report incidents immediately. The arrests come amid increased scrutiny of law enforcement as the government moves to tackle corruption within its ranks. Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News. The orthopedic technician accused of leaking a video showing local entertainer Lolita Calendar, known as Lola Doll, in a vulnerable state while receiving treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital following a shooting earlier in September, appeared before Georgetown Magistrates Court, where he was charged under the Cybercrime Act. Trevor Sinclair, called Trutz, a 20-year-old orthopedic technician at the Georgetown Public Hospital and resident of West Royalville, Georgetown, was arrested on September 10, 2025 and was charged Monday for the offense of transmitting of a private area of a person, contrary to Section 16.2a of the Cybercrime Act 16 of 2018, committed on Lolita Calendar, also known as Lola Doll. The accused appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court Number 3 before Magistrate Fabia Azor, where the charge was read to him. He pleaded not guilty and he was remanded to prison and the case postponed to October 6, 2025 for statements. Reports are that the man recorded a video of Calendar receiving treatment at the hospital after she was shot several times earlier this month. The video quickly made its rounds on social media in which Calendar appeared to be naked. The technician reportedly admitted to recording the video on his mobile device, but denied posting it to social media. He told investigators that he sent it via WhatsApp to his ex-girlfriend. The man claims the video began circulating on social media thereafter, at which point he deleted it from his phone. On September 7th, Calendar was shot about 8 times outside her Texas Square, East Warrenville, Georgetown home. Since Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali met with local government minister Priya Manik Chand and other officials to advance Ghana's solid waste management and beautification programs. He announced plans for new and expanded landfill sites, stressing the government's commitment to cleaner communities and sustainable solutions. The Ministries of Housing and Water and Tourism, Industry and Commerce will work alongside local government to identify areas for green spaces and beautification, with work set to begin at the end of the year. Several cabinet ministers and technical staff also attended the meeting. Between 2020 and 2024, over 9,715 patients received medical assistance worth $4.2 billion from the government, covering cardiac procedures, dialysis, cancer care, hip and knee replacements, and more. This was revealed by the Minister of Health, Dr. Fras Anthony, in his World Heart Day message on Monday. Details in this report. The Ministry of Health has adopted the PAHO WHO Hearts Program, an evidence-based initiative designed to improve the diagnosis and management of hypertension and related risk factors. Minister of Health Frank Anthony explained that already 247 health facilities across Ghana have implemented Hearts, and by 2026, the goal is to expand it in every health center in the country. To strengthen the nation's national response, the ministry has also formulated new national guidelines for cardiovascular disease, ensuring that healthcare providers are equipped with the latest evidence-based standards for prevention, early detection, and treatment. Minister Anthony, in his World Heart Day message, explained that cardiovascular diseases are preventable when people adopt healthier daily habits and address these risks early. In observance of World Heart Day being observed under the theme, Use Heart for Every Heart, the minister called on every Guyanese to reflect on the power of their choices. The health ministry continues to provide life-saving cardiovascular care and financial support to patients. Between 2020 to 2024, over 9,715 patients received medical assistance worth $4.2 billion, covering cardiac procedures, dialysis, cancer care, hip and knee replacements, and more. The minister added that sadly more young people are being diagnosed with heart disease, challenging the myth that this is only a concern for the elderly. This should serve as a wake-up call for all of us, he said. The minister urged every citizen to engage in at least 150 minutes of physical activity weekly, eat a balanced diet rich in fruits and vegetables, avoid tobacco and limit alcohol consumption, manage stress and ensure adequate rest, know your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar levels. The Ministry of Health, the minister explained, remains committed to advancing policies, guidelines, and programs that make healthy living more accessible and affordable for all Guyanese. Calvin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News. Ghana Teachers Union GTU has withdrawn its application for warrants of committal and contempt proceedings against several central and regional government officials. The proceedings had alleged non-compliance with a judgment issued by His Honor Judge Sagdal Kisun on April 19, 2024.
The contempt applications filed by the GTU on August 26, 2025 targeted the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Moabir Anil Nandalal, SCMP, Honorable Minister of Finance Ashni Singh, and several regional executive officers including Donald Gadraj, Region 4, Narendra Prasad, Region 6, Sadiq Ishmael, Region 5, Chanel Hussein Ottar, President Secretary, Ministry of Education, and Susan Sewak, Region 2. On September 12, the Attorney General filed an application to strike out the proceedings on technical grounds, citing procedural errors in serving the applications. Statutory limitations under Section 16 of the Contempt of Court Act and non-compliance with provisions of the State Liability and Proceedings Act. During the hearing, an oral request was made for Justice Sandil Kisun to rescue himself given his prior involvement in the judgment. The judge granted the rescual and adjourned the matter pending reassignment by the Chief Justice. Following this, the GTU formally served notice withdrawing and discontinuing the contempt proceedings. The Attorney General appeared in court with legal representatives including Darshan Ramdani, Deputy Solicitor General Shoshan, Principal Legal Advisor Ronetta Prince, and State Counsels Omar Hoppy and Ron Austin. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
And finally, tonight's newscast, Des Moines Superintendent Earl Roberts, a Guyanese-born educator, has been placed on paid leave after his arrest by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, ICE. The agency says he overstayed his visa, was ordered removed in 2024, and was found with a loaded gun, cash, and a knife at the time of his arrest. School Board Chair Jackie Norris said the board was unaware of any immigration issues, noting that Roberts passed FBI and background checks when hired in 2023. She urged the community to, quote, cool down the rhetoric, end the quote, to avoid harming students. Roberts, on a U.S. $286,716 contract, was hired legal counsel, a former Olympian who previously represented Ghana in the 2024 Sydney Games and studied in several universities, including Coppin State and Harvard. And that has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check us out on our Facebook and YouTube platforms at Guyana TV9, GUI TV9, for more trending stories. I'm Colin Abrams. Good night.